unzip this file, right? So how can we unzip and zip a file? If you want to, if the file is coming like a zip file, so you have to unzip. For example, if you want to send a file to a particular person or someone, so how can you zip a file? And what is the task we are going to use to do this zipping and unzipping in SSIS? Okay, right. So not only this zipping and unzipping, so the zipping and unzipping, it's a process. Okay, in your computer you have a different kind of services. If you want to execute, if you want to run any services, so definitely there is one executable is there. For example, if you are installing anything, so definitely there is one executable is there, so it will execute that executable whenever you want to operate that particular service. For example, if you want to open a notepad, okay, if you want to open a notepad, so there is a definitely notepad.exe is there, and whenever you are clicking on this notepad icon, it will execute the, it will run the .exe file, and it will do the operation whatever you want to do. So whatever the executables you are going to run here, the same you can execute from the SSIS also. Like if you want to zip, definitely you required on software, right? Either it is a WinRAR or 7G zip or whatever, definitely you have to install in your computer. So whenever you are going to zip or unzip that file, you are going to right click and 7G zip or extract here somewhere you are going to do here. So definitely in that situation it will execute the that .exe files. So the same operation I am going to do from SSIS. Okay, for example, see, this is the notepad, so I am going to click on this notepad. It will open the notepad, means a notepad.exe file is executing and it is opening the notepad here. Okay, so the same notepad, if I want to open from this SSIS, how can we do? So the task we are going to use is execute process task. Okay, execute process task, did you find anywhere? Yeah, this is the task we are going to use to do this process. Just to open this execute process task and go to the process, and the executable I am going to write down notepad.exe. Okay, click OK, right click, and I am going to execute this task. See, it is executed and it is opening the notepad here, right? So the same way, if you want to zip a file or if you want to unzip a file, so I have installed 7G zip software. Okay, so that is located in this particular location, and so the executable is 7g.exe. Okay, so if you want to zip a file, right, so the file is located in a particular location in my computer, so that file I want to zip. So what is the process? Right, so go to the execute process task, come to process, first give a proper name for this task. So this is zip a file, and come to process. So which executable you want to run here? So the executable I am going to browse here. The location of the executable you have to give here. Go to C folder, program files, 7g zip, 7g.exe. So this is the executable I am going to run here. Okay, right. So the executable is ready to execute, but we need some inputs. What is the location of the file? Which file you are going to zip? After you are zipping a file, in which location you want to keep that file? Okay, right. So the syntax you have to write down inside this argument section is, so first take the your file source location, which file you want to do the zipping. Okay, so I want to do the zipping of this customer.xlsx or delete.txt file, anything you can do. Okay, I want to do delete.txt. Take this path of this delete.txt. Okay, right, the file
Can
name
we
is,
zip Excel file also?
see, if any file is in external location, first you have to
Uh-huh.
download that file into your local computer.
Yeah, no, I'm saying like any kind of file, just like
Yeah, yeah,
even it's
any
a
kind of file, any,
Word file or
yes,
any Excel file.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, any file you can do. So delete.txt is the location of the file. So you have to keep inside the double quotes this one. Right. After zipping this file, in which location you want to keep this file? I want to keep this file in destination folder under D folder. I am going to keep here. In this particular folder, I want to keep this file. So you have to give that path here. Okay, right. So after you are zipping this file, what is the zip file name you want to give? Zip folder name you want to give? So that name I want to give anu. Okay, anu.zip file. So just put this also in double quotes. Okay, right. So you have to take a argument for zipping is a. So this is the syntax you have to use and keep inside the argument section here.
So Ram, where did we change the name of the file?
Come again.
Name of the, like you said, anu.zip, right? So
Yes.
here we, in the source file name was delete.txt. Then why did we change it to d anu.zip?
If
Or
you want to
d means
give,
like as a destination, and
if you want to give, yeah, D is the
okay,
destination.
oh, it,
If you want to give delete,
so
yes, you can give.
okay.
Okay, no
Okay,
problem.
okay. So it can be we can change the name or whatever. It's good to
Yeah,
put it
yeah,
in the
yeah.
destination. You're
Yes.
saying, right? Okay, okay.
Right. Okay.
And here I have one more question also. Like I'm not sure if it's related to this. Let's say I have to create a file on the on one of the location. Let's say there is no deleted text file, and I want to create that file. SSIS does create the file also, right?
Yes. So if you are following the yesterday class, then you can find that one.
Okay, it's in there
Yeah,
in
yeah,
the
yeah.
yesterday class.
Yes, yes.
Okay, 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 okay. Okay.
Right. Okay. Fine.
Because usually I create a file on the location, then I do the package, but I don't know how
Yeah,
the
in the
file will
file,
be
by using the
created by
file
itself.
system task, you can create a file also. Okay. Right.
Okay.
So now I'm going to execute this task. Execute it. We'll see whether that file will come, and in this is our target location, right? So anu.zip file is coming here, right? And whatever the file is coming here, if you want to extract this file or if you want to unzip a file, yes, we can do the unzipping also. But before that, I want to do one requirement. If anybody wants to open this zip file, I want to set a password. Okay, I want to set a password. So what is the password I am going to set? For example, you just come to process, under this syntax, in the last you have to space hyphen p double quotes. What is the password you want to give? 9885. Okay, right, click OK.
So you put the source and the destination same in one argument, under one argument?
Yeah, I'm just adding the password, that's all. Okay.
Or no, the source and the destination, you can put it in on one string, as a one string.
See, I didn't change anything, source and destination. Okay. Same
Yeah, no,
thing.
source and destination, you just put it like, yeah, so, oh, okay. So you just copy it and paste it there.
Yeah,
huh?
yeah, I just copied from here and I have added the
Okay.
code hyphen p, and what is the password we have? 9885, whatever I am going to, you can put any password. Okay, right.
Okay.
So now I'm going to
So what this argument will do, it will grab the file from the source location and put it on the destination.
Yes, and it will set a
Okay.
password for that file.
Password
Encrypting.
also, yes.
Yeah, it will
Yeah,
encrypting
okay.
that with a password.
Okay.
Right. So the text file is coming here. If you want to extract this one, okay, I'm going to extract this file. See, it is asking the password. Okay, so 988567, wrong password I have entered. 9885. Yes, file is open, nothing is there inside the file. Okay, so you can encrypt a password also whenever you are going to zip the file. Okay, right. So now what I am going to do here, whatever the zip file is here, so that zip file I want to unzip. Okay, how can we unzip a file? So take one more execute process task. This is for unzipping. I'm going to rename it unzip file. Okay, right. For zipping and unzipping the same executable we are going to use. So you just give the executable 7g.exe under the argument section. Okay, so what is the location of the file? Which file you want to unzip? So the file I am going to unzip is this is the location. Control C.
Ram, what is A? Why did you write A?
Yeah, if you want to zip a file, the argument you have to pass A. For unzipping, you have to pass E. Okay, that is a static one, hard coded one, and my file name is Anu, right? So this is the file I am going to unzip now, and the argument we have to pass is E. After you are unzipping, which location you want to keep that file? Yes, we can put that one in the another tab. So take this the argument E, and which location, which file you want to unzip, right? Come here and keep in the argument section, and then under the working directory, in which location you want to keep after zipping the file. After unzipping the file, in which location you want to keep that file? I want to keep in the same location, but you don't need to put in the double quotes, you just put inside the working directory location. Okay, argument E I have taken, argument E I have taken for unzipping, and the file location, in which location my file is there, in this location, in this particular location, anu.zip file I am going to do the unzipping. After you are unzipping this file, in which location you want to put, so that you have to put inside the working directory location. Okay, right click OK. I am going to execute this one, right click, execute the task.
To zip the file, Ram, did you do the working directory location too?
No, we don't need to put in working directory.
Yeah, no,
so directly we can put in the single. So it is
argument.
asking the password to unzip, right? So 9885 is the password. Right, see the delete.txt file is coming. It is extracted the file from the anu.zip, and whatever the file is there, so that is delete.txt file. Okay, so this is the way if you want to unzip a file, so you have to do. So basically the client will send a files daily. The client will send an employees information, how many employees are joined in their organization, into one Excel file. Okay, so that Excel file is located in a particular FTP site or somewhere. So you have to download this file by using FTP site, FTP task. Also we have FTP task. After you are downloading, so if you want to move, if you want to unzip the file, if this file is a zip file, you have to use execute process task. Okay, after unzipping the file, yes, you can load that file. So before you are going to load that file, so you have to do these two operations based on the requirement. Right, for example, before I am going to load the data into a particular table, whatever the data already existing in that particular table, I want to truncate the data. How can we truncate a data inside a table? I mean, under MSBI database, my table is select star from EMP. So in this table, I have this data. If I want to truncate the data in this table, how can we do? So we can write down truncate table EMP. Right? So I don't want to do this in a SQL Server Management Studio. I want to execute this statement inside the SSIS. So what is the task we are going to use to do this? To execute any SQL commands against a particular server and database. Same. In which server you are going to execute this one? So your server name. And in which database? MSBI database. So the same statement, if you want to execute from SSIS, what is the task we are going to use? Anu, any idea? Right, so the task
I can tell after, yeah, like
SQL task we are going to use.
Execute SQL task, yeah.
So this execute SQL task will execute any kind of SQL statements, whatever you are executing inside the SQL Server Management Studio.
But we have to put the query in this, right?
Yes, the connection information and the query you have to put inside the execute SQL task. Okay, so I'm going to configure this execute SQL task. Just right click and edit the execute SQL task. Right, so
double click the task also will work, right?
Yeah. So connection information. Okay, so in which server, take a new connection, in which server and in which database you are going to execute this one. So click on new connection. So the server name you have to provide. So my server name is select @ server name. This is the server name. Okay, right.
Ram, why did you put that server name like that? Can't you put it like choose connection, new connection, like
Yeah, this
that
is a
would
new
do?
connection only, right? If you want to connect to your SQL server, you have to give the server name and in which database you are going to execute the SQL statement. So even if
Yeah,
you
but it will ask you new connection, right? Then it will go to your, then it will show you all those options that we have, all those databases it has.
databases, it will display after you are giving the proper server name. In that particular server, what are the
Oh,
databases
yes,
we
yes,
have,
yes,
it
exactly.
will
Yes,
display.
yes, yes. That,
Okay, so
yeah.
you just go here and what are the
So that you did, what you did is like it's a parameter sign, like variable sign. What do you call that? Like at? It's a
that is
parameter, right?
if you want to
Sign
know your
at.
server, if you want to
Uh-huh.
know your
If you want to
server
know
name,
the server name, like that, that's how we do.
yes,
Oh, select. Okay.
@ server name. Okay, so you just
Okay.
come to MSBI. This is the my database. In this particular database, I want to execute this SQL statement. Click OK. If you want to test the connection, yes, you can test the connection also. Okay, right, click OK. Now the SQL statement you have to put inside here under the SQL statement. There are three options. If you want to put your SQL statement directly here, yes, you can put here, you can write down here truncate table emp. Okay, you can directly put this SQL statement here. The another way is, okay, the another way is, when you can put this SQL statement directly here, the SQL source type, if you are taking direct input, yes, you can write down the SQL query directly here. The second option is file connection, means whatever the SQL statement you are going to write down there, that statement you have to write down and save in a text file. Okay, so you have to save this text file in a particular folder. So the path of that file you have to provide here. Okay, if you later if you want to change the statement, SQL statement, if you are changing in this particular text file, that will change automatically in this location, because the SQL statement it is going to execute is taking from the text file only. Understood? Instead of writing the direct SQL statement here, we are going to write down the SQL statement inside a text file, and the location, the path of the file we are going to give here. So whenever this execute SQL task is trying to execute, it will go to that particular file location and open the file, and inside whatever the statement is there, that statement it will take and execute. Clear? Guys, clear or any confusion? What exactly file connection? Rani? Hello?
Yes, Ram. Yes, Ram.
Okay. So the third option is variable. Okay. What exactly the variable? Guys, give me a second. Gas పోయిందా వీడికి?
డిస్క్ తీసేసావా?
Right. So variable means whatever the SQL statement you want to write down here, instead of writing the SQL statement directly here, you have to save that SQL statement inside a variable and you just give the variable name here. You can create the variable directly from here also. Yesterday I showed, right, how to create a variable and how to store a value inside a variable. Okay, you just click on the new variable. Okay, so what is the variable name you want to give? The variable name I am going to give query, and the data type of the variable is string, because the data I am going to store is a query, SQL query, that is a string. Truncate table emp. Okay, click OK. Done. So instead of saving a direct query here, we have saved the SQL statement inside a variable and the variable name we have given here. Okay, click OK. If you want to see that variable, yes, where you can find out the variables, right click, go to the variables. See, this is the variable you have created, query, right, and the data type is string and the value is truncate table emp. Okay, right. So I don't want to take these variables and file connection. I want to write down the direct SQL statement, truncate table emp. Okay, click OK. You just right click, execute the task. Whether it is truncating the data or not, we will see.
Which one is the best practice, variable or file or direct input?
The query statement, if you are going to change frequently, okay, so you can use a variable is better, or you can use a file system. So if you don't change that SQL statement, then you can use the direct statement, because for example these 2 days I want to execute one statement here, and after 3-4 days I want to execute another one. Okay, because if you want to change frequently, if you are using the direct statement, every time you have to come and you have to open the execute SQL task and you have to modify the SQL command. If you are using the file connection or a variable, you don't need to come inside here. Directly go to the file in your Windows folder and you can change there. Even for variables also, the variables that we will discuss in the next coming sessions, how we can store values in the variable and how we can modify.
Okay.
So it is truncated, I hope. Right, nothing is there. Okay, so this is the truncate statement we are going to use to truncate the data inside a table. For example, I want to insert the data. What is the insert command? Insert into emp. What are the column names? Employee number, employee name, salary. Okay, values 100 RAM and the salary is 1000. Okay, so this is the data I want to truncate. Sorry, I want to insert. So you just write down the statement over here. Sorry. Okay, this is the statement I want to execute. Click OK. Click OK. Right. So right click and execute the task. Right, we'll see whether this row is inserted or not. Select star from EMP. Right, one row inserted. Okay, so instead of inserting these values directly here, what I want to do in SQL Server, I am going to declare three variables at the rate of employee number integer. This value I want to give 200, and one more variable declare at the rate of employee name integer, and the name is I want to give KAM, and one more variable declare at the rate of salary integer equal to 2000. Okay, so if you want to insert these three variable values here, so directly you have to give employee number and employee name and salary. Okay, so if you are executing this entire statement, it will insert 200 and the name into com and the salary equal to 2000. Okay, right. So the same thing, how can you do inside the SSIS? So first you have to declare three variables in SSIS, right? Okay, so how to declare three variables? You just right click, go to variables, add three variables. The first variable is employee number and the data type is integer, and the value I am going to keep here is 200, and another variable employee name, the data type is string data type and the name is KAM, and the third one is salary and the value is 2000, right? So three variables we have created. Okay, so this part is done. Now we have to keep this statement inside here, right? Inside the execute SQL task here. So basically in SSIS, if you want to insert a value or if you want to pass a variable value, so we can't specify directly this at the rate of employee number, at the rate of employee name, at the rate of salary. We can't specify directly the variable values. Okay, so what we have to do, how many variables we have, so you have to put that many question marks here. Okay, that many question marks you have to put here, right? You just Control C, keep inside this statement, click OK, right? Okay, fine. So you have declared three variables and you have written a statement, but how the execute SQL task now, whether this question mark is going to insert the value this one, and how the second question mark is going to insert this employee name for the this one. So if you observe, the order of this question marks is, this is 0, this is 1 and this is 2. Okay, the order of the question marks is 0, 1, 2. Okay, so this mapping we have to do. Means for 0, the variable, which variable value you want to insert, that is employee number, this is 0. And for 1, which one you want to insert? Employee name. For 2, at the rate of salary we are going to insert. The parameters variable mapping we have to do here. Understood? So where we can do that one? You just come here under these parameter mappings. Okay, so you have to add three variables. Add one variable, okay, and the parameter name you have to give the order of the parameter 0, and which parameter, which variable you want to insert for this 0, the variable is employee number. Okay, what is the data type of that variable? Yes, you can take long or integer, whatever, no problem. Okay, you can keep as usual. What is this parameter size? The -1 means default, it will allow maximum. What is the maximum length of integer long data type? That much of it will allow. For example, The second variable, if you are taking employee name, I am going to insert, right? Employee name. What is the data type of the employee
Ram,
name? Yes.
how many types of data types we have in SSIS and how much length it will take? Can you tell
How many
later?
means there is a lot of there, but basically we are using so in SQL Server you have idea, right? Integer, varchars,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
those are there, right? So basically here also mostly we are using varchar and varchar and date time and long, integer. Okay, these are mostly we are using. Okay, float also is there. You don't worry about all unnecessary things. Okay,
Okay.
so for this employee name is a varchar data type, so you have to select the varchar and varchar.
What is that long do, Ram? I never used that long data type.
So long is more than integer.
Oh, okay.
I think it will allow almost 8 bytes of the space. Integer is 4 bytes only,
Oh,
right?
okay.
The long is 8 bytes. And the end
Okay.
varchar I want to take here. Okay, the variable name is 1, the order. The third one is salary, and the data type long only I want to take. This is 2, the order. Okay, here what is this -1 means? It will allow maximum how many characters the n varchar will support. For example, the employee name, inside the variable value you are going to pass KAM, right? 3 characters, so it will allow, it will, the space, the memory is 3 bytes, right? So if you are keeping here 2, it will allow only 2 characters, because the parameter size you have given is 2 only. -1 is the default, and it will allow maximum number of characters, the size. Okay, so for 3 parameters, right, 3 question marks. The first question mark 0, 1, 2. 0 means the value we are going to pass is for the employee number column. For 1 means employee name. Salary is 3. So the same order I am going to map here. 0 employee number variable, 1 employee name variable, 2 salary variable. Yes, tell me.
If we need to insert one paragraph, so
One
which
paragraph.
data type? One paragraph of.
Yeah, the paragraph is also a string only, right?
So which data type we need to use?
Yeah, the n varchar only you can use, but inside the paragraph how many characters you are going to keep, that is the
If
thing.
it is 1,000 characters,
Yes, it will allow. n varchar is almost allowing 4000.
4,000 maximum.
Yeah, max, there is max also there, up to 2 GB it will allow. If you are taking n varchar max data type, whenever you are creating a table, varchar
Hmm.
max, this is one data type, right? This will allow up to 2 GB of the data.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and if you want to specify the number of bytes, so you can specify up to 8000.
Okay.
Each byte it will take a single character. Okay,
Okay.
right. So the order I have given, so did you understand what exactly this order I have followed? 3 variables. So these 3 variables I am going to pass for the 3 question marks here. So the order is employee number, employee name, salary, the same order I have given. Click OK. Now I am going to execute this task. Right, executed successfully. We'll check whether that record is inserted or not. Select star from EMP. $200 KAM 2000. It is inserted the value. Okay. So later, if you want to change the any variable values, for example, if you want to insert 300, yes, if you are executing one more time, it will execute and insert the 3000 value. You don't need to change anything inside the execute SQL task. If you are changing in the variables, automatically that values it will take and it will insert. Not yet executed. Still it is executing. Done. See, 300 KAM 2000 is inserted. Okay, so this is the way you can use execute SQL task, and you can do insert, truncate, all these kind of statements. In the tomorrow session, in execute SQL task, if I am writing a select statement, if the select statement is returning some value, okay, so whatever the values this execute SQL task is returns, right now we are just passing the input values, right, input direction. If inside this statement I am going to write down select employee name from the EMP table, so it will give employee names, right? How we can store that employee names, and whatever the result is coming from here, how we can store into another table, okay? How can we execute a stored procedure inside the execute SQL task? So that kind of things we'll discuss in the tomorrow session.